Are you a Christian coach or consultant who wants to scale to multiple six figures a month without wasting precious hours of your time on outdated courses, systems, methodologies, masterminds that just leave you more confused than when you started? If so, in the next 60 seconds, I'm going to show you the exact system that took me from $30,000 a month to over $600,000 a month in less than a year, while only working about 10 hours a week, all the while applying biblical Christian wealth principles in my coaching business and life. Hey, I'm Paul Bocco. I built 10 different businesses over my 25-year career. The first few were train wrecks. The next three were six figures, and the last three have been seven figures, and we're basically at eight figures right now. But it wasn't always that way. Just a few years ago, I struggled to get to that, from that 30,000 to that six-figure per month mark. At the time, I didn't realize the amount of head garbage and stress that I was carrying in my daily life, let alone the negative impact it was having on my business, family, marriage. I knew something needed to change, but I didn't know what, and I didn't know how. I also didn't have the time to figure it out. Fast forward to today. I pinpointed the one thing that I wish I knew back then that supercharged the growth of my business. So if you listen to anything that I have to say, this is it. When I would hit certain levels of growth in my business, it was almost like hitting my head on this invisible income stronghold or ceiling that I couldn't seem to break through. I thought I knew what it would take to get to that next level. But like I said, I didn't know what I didn't know. It was a blind spot, what the Bible calls a stronghold. And I wasn't getting that personal attention that I needed from the masterminds, programs, and coaches that I was working with at the time. The videos in the course were low quality, inconsistent, or overwhelming, 10,000 videos to find one thing, or out of date, which left me more confused than when I started. And it seemed like they were more focused on growing their business than on helping their customers, clients, and members. And the support, wasn't very supportive. And soon I realized that most gurus today are teaching, outdated my way or the highway methods, or, what's worse, one size fits all nonsense. I didn't need some guru teaching me how to create an amazing webinar, or some new shiny marketing object, or content strategy, and have me chasing my tail with all this new crap I had to learn. I needed specific clarity on what I was doing wrong in my business at that specific moment, what my bottleneck was, what my constraint was, based on my goals, my resources, and my specific talents, most importantly. I felt like I was dead in the water. Needless to say, it was very frustrating. I realized the current online education and coaching ecosystem is deeply flawed. And that's when I had my aha moment. The reason I couldn't hit my maximum potential is because I was being stuffed into a box. I wasn't operating at my fullest potential. I wasn't worshiping God with my talents. It's kind of like if you gave your spouse a necklace and they wore it, it'd make you happy. But if they put it in the top drawer, it would make you sad. Same thing when we are working in our talents. We are worshiping the Lord. It was like I was trying to stick a square peg into a round hole. Listen, there is no one-size-fits-all business. There is no one-size-fits-all solution. There is no one-size-fits-all approach or marketing strategy. In the same way of thinking that got me to where I was at that plateau, at that income stronghold, is not the same way of thinking that took me to that next level. I had to renew my mind and be not conformed, but be transformed. But I needed to know how to renew my mind. What point of focus needed the renewing? And the other problem was there were some courses and programs and stuff that I was in that I agreed with maybe 90% of the content, but there was that 10% that didn't sit well with my morals and beliefs as a Christian, things like FOMO and false scarcity and all this other, what I call the black arts of marketing. And so that's why I created the Kingdom Operating System training for you, to show you the exact same system that I applied in my business model to build a coaching business, right? I built a 7, almost 8-figure coaching business, not coaching coaches, which is what most of the gurus do. They just coach coaches, which is not you. You're probably most likely not coaching coaches. So you have different constraints and considerations than they do. Therefore, by default, their system is not going to globally work for you, especially if you're a Christian and they're not. So I put this together to identify the steps that I took to break through that invisible income stronghold and create kingdom building wealth that I can pass to my grandkids. Create a business that produces a tremendous amount of cash flow, fierce cash flow, and then converts that cash flow into cash flow producing assets, hard assets that I can transfer and get massive tax and all sorts of benefits. And doing this without burning myself out, and focusing on dumb things that didn't matter and going down rabbit holes. So I'm going to show you how I've applied these strategies in a step-by-step SOP checklist point of view without spending hours in programs, listening to content, jam on a wide range of topics that don't apply to you, that you're not chasing podcasts and YouTube and all this other crap that just, does Dave Ramsey go to YouTube when he's got a question he needs answered? Does Jeff Bezos, does, any high level person do that? What we start to do? No. So let's not do what they do. Let's be smart, right? So if this sounds too good to be true, listen, I get it, right? But don't take my word for it. Go see for yourself. Click the button. Take a look at what we have to offer. We put together this training, and you have a very blessed day.